salute. Well, we got to salute with the right hand. Salute to all the people who did the work, and for the folks who will be getting a salute in the future from the new training. Once again, guys, for those of you who are signing up, I'm very, very proud of you because you guys are willing to do the work. So I got a little story here. Plus, this is what's going on. Go below and get into the AI income engine, the corporate citizen V2, and the AI love machine. That combo's going on right now. The links below is $2,000. Now, if you go ahead and try to get into it through the course thing and it doesn't work, just email me and I'll send you a link to a PayPal account where we just worked it out where that will go. Plus, we got some other stuff that's going on. So, links are below, email links below, plus me and my boo. Hold on. Here we go. What? I got all these messages on my phone. Anyway, get that. Me and my boo, we're going to launch a YouTube channel called Passionate Friday. So that link's below as well. All right. So let's kind of get into it. I had people ask me, was I going to do consulting? And I was like, I really didn't know. But I thought about it. I'm going to do consulting. So if you're not a student, it's $2,500. If you're a student, it's $300. Now, this is December. Now, you can buy consulting for the future. Like if you wanted to rack up and buy 3 consults for next year, you could do that now, and you'll still get the pricing. And let me just tell you, the pricing is going to go up. December, I am Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho. I'm breaking off deals. So if you want to get some consulting next year, you can buy it now. Now, the deal is the best deals come to the students. Because why do the best deals come to the students? Because I can train you. I can give you the right information so you'll be a smarter bear. That's why the students get the best deals. And once again, for the students, price is going up. Decent, okay. Today has been wonderful. And end of December, everything goes up. Everything. Deals come off the table. So for those of you who are sitting around waiting and hoping that, I got a question. For those of you who've been around here, when is the time I've actually crashed the price of a course? Please name one time that I did that. Ever. Because there are people waiting like, he gonna crash the price? He gonna give us a deal? Hasn't happened yet. All right, so let me tell you a little story. This is a YouTuber. And I'm gonna give you this exact story, and I'm gonna tell you how to tell if people are lying to you about their business experience. This YouTuber, to me, is a complete and utter dumbass. And he was talking, I make $1 million a year. I want to take 70,000 and turn that 930,000 into business income. Now, this is one of the big issues that's happening in YouTube. You have a lot of people who talk around the issue. If someone says business income, but they don't tell you they have a car business, they don't tell you they have a service business, they don't tell you they have a restaurant, they're not specific about the big business. Danger, Will Robinson, because they're full of shit. That's why they never give you a specific business. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, all of these people are talking about tax information. And Jasmine DeLucci, literally, this woman has built a 500,000 member YouTube channel just going around and correcting bad tax advice. Now, one of the reasons I didn't get into a lot of tax stuff is everyone's situation is different. And honestly, most of you are not going to face my problems. Most of you are just not going to face my problems. So it didn't really make any sense to be putting that out there to give people hope that, the government has these wonderful and wild methodologies where you could just get all tax free. Give you an example, and I'm going to go back to Mr. Dumbass in a minute. Let's say I won the lottery and I won $500 million and I took $450 million and bought apartment complexes cash, right? So based upon what the dumb YouTubers, the dumb TikTokers, the dumb Instagram people, they'd be like, yeah, you go ahead and buy all those apartment complexes and pay no tax until the apartment complexes earn the $450 back, right? Wrong! As soon as those apartment complexes start earning income that's above and beyond the depreciation, you will have to pay taxes on that. But once again, these people have never started or run a business. They've never done it, so all they can do is give you spooky schemes, right? Literally, Jasmine, I love Jasmine because she'll be sitting there watching, see a little smile go up. I was like, she's getting ready to cut him off at the ankles. All right, so back to Mr. Dumbass. Mr. Dumbass has a habit of lying. And Mr. Dumbass has this duality, talking about good people to work with, good people not to work with, this moral authority, right? I got a question. If Mr. Dumbass was such a moral, upright person, why would he come to YouTube and lie about stuff? Lie about stuff. Y'all can't come at me with that. Well, he lied about this. When I started the car rental business, I started the Kill Switch Chronicles. I showed you guys the car titles. And one of the things I began to realize, once again, salute to the loyal followers. A lot of you guys have seen the receipts. A lot of you guys believe I'm 100% legit. But there's another floating group of people out there, and I'm not going to be dismissive, but because they've been indoctrinated by the lying YouTubers, they actually feel that some of the stuff I put out is misaligned because they've been lied to by their favorite YouTuber. Someone that looks good, someone that looks visually good, or a girl, and she'll come out here like, you can get this EIN credit. As far as I know, there's one EIN credit card, and that's the Sam's Club card. There used to be a bunch of them. There was GE Capital, there was Home Depot card, there was a bunch of them. They got rid of them. You don't know why? Because the people weren't paying their bills. Back to Mr. Dumbass. Mr. Dumbass has built up a following of people who think that this person is good. And one of the reasons is, number one, second point, when you have people who have no business experience, never been around rich people, don't know how rich people get down, they're very easy to fool. This fool actually is like, well, I'm rich and I'm renting a spot, right? Okay, let me tell you a little story. 2009, 2011-ish, I was up for a reality television show. And here in Atlanta, there's this condominium called the Sovereign. I think it's the tallest condominium here in town. The condos start at like the 40th floor or something like that. And I go in there and I talk to this lady. And she tells me this. She says exact words. Some of the people who live here don't live here full time. Her exact words, they don't live here full time. They're not renting an apartment not to live in. They're paying cash, and they have an apartment here in Atlanta. They have a condo here in Atlanta, a house in Virginia, something in California. You've got people who have 3, 4, 5 properties that are paid for, and they're not renting. Now, there's Ramit Sethi. He talks about he's a millionaire and he's renting. Now, Ramit's been around a long time, and I believe his income is high, and I believe he does have substantial assets. However, once again, Ramit, I think, is a credible person, but once again, there's capacity and there's opportunity. So would you be renting if you had the capacity to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 houses? The answer is no, because you would have the capacity. Like, something about me. Like, and I don't mean to be dismissive. I know times are hard, people are struggling, but me and Boo, we go out. Every time we meet up, we go out. And we will get dinner. And the cheapest dinner date, and she only had dessert and a drink, was $65 before the tip. Typically, if we both eat, it's going to be $95 up to the highest bill has been 160. But once again, I am me. I'm Glendon Cameron. I got the loot. I can do that. Average person can't do that. So I understand. Once again, I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm not trying to speak down to anyone. I just want to give you the reality. We go out all the time because I have the opportunity. I can do this. Mr. Dumbass did a video talking about how he would like to be down on the court side, but he's up in the stands because he didn't have enough money to buy courtside tickets. But he was sitting there, because once again, I have lived in a neighborhood full of millionaires. Literally, lady walking down the street with a dog, wrist twinkling, she's got diamonds on walking her dog. I've lived in a neighborhood where there was a nice house, but the guy, he drove a Ford F-150. She drove something like an Audi, and come to find out, her parents bought them that house, paid cash for it, and they had six-figure jobs. He was an attorney, she's an attorney, he's a doctor, I forget. I've literally seen how wealthy people get down. Back in the day, I don't know if he still lives here, but Dr. J used to live in Sandy Springs. Yes, Dr. Julius lived, and he's a very nice person. Waka Flocka. I don't know if he's still living around here. I've run into Waka Flocka 5 times, which tells me he lives somewhere around Sandy Springs. I have associated, I've communicated with wealthy people. Mr. Dumbass is a lying sack of shit because, number one, he lies about stuff. Number two, he misappropriates himself. Number three, fake business person. Once again, if you're watching someone on YouTube and they do not get into the specifics of what they do, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Because, like, I was in Waffle House talking to this guy, and he's like, oh yeah, we own a construction company. We own a construction company. I said, it's just you, who's we? He said, me and my brothers own a construction company. Wealthy people with real businesses will tell you what the real business is. They would not make these, well, you know, if I had $1 million in income, number one, if I had $1 million in income, that's very, very telling. If I had $1 million in income, means that they don't have $1 million in income. And also, once again, I feel sorry for NFL players because they get, boom, hit hard on taxes because they get all this money, right? And you're like, man, $200 million contract between their agent and the IRS, they're getting less than half. So $200 million, they may get $95 million, which is still a lot of money. But once again, as a business person, let me go ahead and give you a little game, real game. All right, I'm the holding company guy. No one on YouTube talks about holding companies. You want to know why? Because they don't have businesses. So I'm the holding company guy. And I can tell you that if you have a holding company, it makes managing your tax situation, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind what you can do with a holding company. Because you have a holding company, you have operating companies. The holding company owns the operating company, right? So the operating company pushes income up to the holding company, right? And the holding company has the ability to disperse that income. Like me, I don't take a lot of money, like going forward, I will not take a lot of money out of the company for me. Wouldn't do it because once you take it out of the company, you got to pay taxes. But the holding company situation allows you to redeploy income in a manner where you get to delay taxes. There ain't nobody that's ever told you this, right? Because they don't know. They don't have no business. They don't know. They can't tell you because they don't know. I guarantee you, right now, if I sat down some of the biggest business YouTubers and I broke down this holding company stuff, they would be like this. Really? Be writing notes like a computer. Because that shit would blow their minds because they don't know. They don't know. And going back to Mr. Dumbass, once again, there's a lot of people who have their favorite YouTuber and they love their YouTubers and they talk to them. I get that. But I'm going to say something that's going to get me a little hate. I'm going to say 95% of the people on YouTube who talk about business have never owned a business. 95% of them. So how can you talk about something that you never owned and you don't know about? Short answer, you can't. You can't. And this is why, like literally, I got an application for my own merchant account. I worked out some stuff with PayPal today because why do all of these Stripe, Square, we ran one transaction through Square and Square shut us down because it was $2,500. One. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. And someone left a good comment, like, you need your own merchant account. And I was like, I 100% agree. Now, this is recent. I made millions of dollars. I sold a course through Stripe that was $10,000 and it had no problems. But due to the fact that so many people, number one, lie. Number two, have no experience. Number three, they want that fandom, that they have corrupted the whole thing. And someone left a comment, and it wasn't a hateful comment. He said the whole online game thing is corrosive or something like that. And I said, that's correct when the online creator doesn't have any real business skill sets. You're 100% correct. But if the online person has real verifiable business skills, then an online course could be the best thing that ever happened to you in your life. Could be. Because once again, why does this person feel this way? Because all of these lying sacks of shit out here, like, you could do this, you could do this. Like the Asian chick, your financial BFF. She was out tricking dudes for dinner dates so she could save her money. Then she actually ended up marrying a wealthy man because she got to that circle. But she's not a real financial person. When I was creating Savage Finance, and this is one of the reasons I left YouTube, that shit was rock solid. It was important. It would help people. Didn't get pushed. And I know people are like, well, just let it go. All right. Understand, if I got pushed like Dan Cole, and I have nothing against Dan. I think he's a smart guy. If I met him in real life, we'd probably be really good friends. Nothing against this dude. But if I got pushed the way he got pushed, I would be making $2-3 million a year just from YouTube AdSense. But I didn't get pushed that way he get pushed. I got pushed to the fam. Once again, let's have this conversation. I don't hate black folks. I don't hate them at all. I think some black folks are some of the best people in the world. But we only represent 14%. And I don't care how many comments like, well, I think we're more than 14%. Let me just say this with the most love I can muster. You say something like that, that's a complete and utter dumbass thing. Hold on a second. Aha. All right. This book, Upside, it talks about demographics. Get it, read it 2 or 3 times so you can understand. Don't go up there like, well, I hope we're more than 14%. I have studied it. We're fucking 14% of the population. That is something that's called facts. Do not be up here like, well, I hope, I wish, sprinkle. No. Educate yourself. Okay? Also, another book written in, I'll actually show you this. Let's see. December 2009. I have multiple books, and many of these financial business people have nothing. They have a dream. They have a fancy speech. They have no receipts. None. And this is why people who buy their courses are doing something called a chargeback. For Stripe to act the way that they did, like Stripe is just holding my money. They haven't but they were blocking a lot of people because I was talking to the guy about the merchant account and he said, yeah, radar and stuff. And this is something he said. He said that they're small companies. I said, Stripe is a multi-billion-dollar company. He said, they're still small. And he said, you got to understand the risk factor. And this is why they're doing this stuff to you because, I told him, I said, look, if they weren't doing this shit to me, I would have made $50,000 on Monday. He said, For you, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But for them, he said it is terrifying to have someone open up an account and literally start generating that kind of income that quick. He said it's terrifying. He said if most of the stuff is automated, but he said if a human sat down and saw that I created a course on Friday, and I created the course, let's say Tuesday, and by the following Monday, that course was able to generate $50,000 in one day. He said they would have a heart attack. That's just too much risk. And that's why they're doing it. This is why I had to talk to PayPal. PayPal was nice. They were easy. But once again, and I'm going to say this, and they can come for me. They can come for me because even, quote, the lead attorney said, you can't fuck with him on business. And that motherfucker hated me at one point. And I'm going to tell you something too. I hated his fucking ass because him and his little bitch set me up. And that's why I didn't talk to anyone else after that, because I knew it was just a setup. But once again, these people have no business experience. They don't know what a holding company is. I'll give you an example. I use cash to buy all of this stuff. This is an office I'm renting. I use cash to get this new iPhone, which I love. I use cash to get Apple iPad. I use cash to get this little camera. It's got a special purpose because I just transferred the money to an account and I started getting blocked and blocked and blocked. And I'm in Apple and the girl said, this happens all the time. I'm in Psycho Bunny. The girl said it happens all the time. So what did I do? Because I have multiple business bank accounts, I just transferred money to a business account that I wasn't using and I was able to buy stuff because I was already prepared. Because that's what I do. When I was doing YouTube heavy, I had my main computer. Then I had a backup computer. So no matter what happened, I would be able to put out content. This is how I run my business. So you have a lot of people on here who are just fucking lying. And once again, I will say it. Any of them can come to me. Now, here's the thing that's funny. Let's take Alex Becker. Alex Becker has a $300 million business. Alex Becker would never come for me. He would never come for me. He said, he's like, facts. He's talking truth. Most of these folks don't have any real businesses. So the real business people on the YouTube would never come for me because they know I'm talking the truth. They would never come for me. Who would come for me? Some broke little bitch with no business talking about, like the one that was talking about Myron Golden. Well, I don't believe what you're saying. There's Myron Golden. And then I hit him up like, okay, Myron Golden and who else? Nothing. Silence. You cannot have one person in a category and that proves everything I said was wrong. Once again, I'm a nerd. Tell you one of the things I used to do as a kid. I would make 100 on the test score so we couldn't get no grade because they didn't like me. I was like, you don't like me? I'm going to fuck up your grades. There will be no curves if we're in classes with me. That became my fucking mission. You ain't getting no fucking curve. I want to get 100. I want to outscore you. I'm going to outwork you. I want to be better than you, even though you hate me because I'm not one of the cool kids. Yeah, I had that fuck you attitude even as a child, even though I didn't know what it was. But once again, Mr. Dumbass has a lot of people, quoting and talking about all the stuff he does. And this tells me, once again, not to be dismissive, but a lot of people do not have the ability to objectively identify someone. Because when I saw Mr. Asshole, I knew he was a liar. I knew he was a liar instantly because of my business experience. When these folks are here talking, once again, anyone on YouTube talking about business and they don't give you a specific business, danger, Will Robertson, danger. More than likely, they're full of shit. More than likely. All right, so this is what's going on. We got the consulting and stuff that's going on. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of you going to want to rack up during the holidays while I'm being Santa Claus because January 1st comes around, prices go up. Consults will go to $5,000. And let me go ahead and tell you, all the folks who are going to like, $5,000? He must be fucking crazy. What you're saying is, I will never have enough money to afford his services. That's what you're saying. You're speaking so loudly, I can't even hear you breathing. I can't hear what you're saying because who you are speaks so loudly. That's so expensive. Grant Cardone gets $100K for someone to come talk to him. 100K. Is Grant Cardone talking to Pookie, who lives in the corner up in the shoebox with Big Booty Betty? Mm-mm. Grant Cardone is talking to a business owner. Grant Cardone is talking to someone. Like, once we get the warehouse, I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. So this is what's happening. This is what we got going on. And I will talk to you guys in the next one.